Hey, Dean, how's it going?
Hey, good morning. It's going great. How are
Man,
you?
doing really well. I appreciate you taking the time to visit with us here. Hope we can bring some more attention to the Moonshine Festival.
Come on, listen. If there's moonshine in country music, you know it's going to be good.
What? I mean, that should go hand in hand. There should be more moonshine festivals all around the country, don't you think?
I agree. I totally agree.
Oh, man. Well, Lone Star's coming in here Saturday night for a big show, and you guys have got like a whole new EP coming out. You're back on tour doing dates around the country. I mean, we're glad to get to be a part of that schedule.
Well, thank you. Yeah, a lot of exciting stuff going on in Lone Star World. You just mentioned we have a brand new record that'll be out at the first of the new year. We've already put out a couple singles off of it. The name of the album is called Iconic Volume 1, and basically it is we each band member chose a iconic female artist, and it didn't matter what genre of music, and an iconic song that they do, and we put our own Lone Star spin on it. That's the name Iconic. Has nothing to do with us, other than we we recorded their songs. But it's a great record. You're going to hear songs from Adele, Fleetwood Mac, the Eurythmics, Cyndi Lauper, and Pink. All amazing artists, and so that's what this record is. Can't wait for the folks to hear it, and then of course just still getting to be out on tour, showing up to huge crowds everywhere we play. It's really an exciting time for us.
What was the inspiration for coming up with the idea for Iconic anyway?
Well, we were at sound check one day, and Drew, our lead singer, just was testing his guitar and his microphone and started singing Time After Time by Cyndi Lauper. And so we each kind of just started chiming in one after another, and the next thing you know, we're all playing, and it just sounded really cool. It sounded uniquely Lone Star, and we're like, man, we should each pick a song, and that would be a cool record. And then when we started picking all the artists, they were obviously all, I mentioned their names, iconic, not just iconic musicians and singers, but iconic women. And the songs are all very iconic. And so that's how we came up with the name for it.
Yeah, the title just sort of kind of fell into place, didn't it?
It really did.
Well,
it
Time
really
After
is.
Time is one of my most favorite songs, and especially Cyndi Lauper's performance. So I'm really excited to get to hear y'all's version of it.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's uniquely Lone Star, and we didn't try to do exact replicas of what they did. We just put our own take on it. How
Right.
we would do it if we would have done the song originally, and so that's what we did. But I think the fans are going to really love it.
Personally, I think that when cover songs are done, you have to put your own spin on it. You'll never compare to the original version, or at least always be compared to it and maybe come up short. So putting your own spin on it is the way to do it, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. And there's we've had a lot of people cover our songs over the years, and we take it as a huge compliment when people do cover our songs, and we don't expect them to do it just like we do it. Everybody's got to kind of have their own spin, and that's what makes music so great. And so we're glad to get to put our own little spin on these iconic women and their music.
Well, I mean, you've got iconic tunes of your own. Amazed, of course, comes to mind. I used to have a DJ gig myself, and we had karaoke. I can't tell you how many times I've heard people butcher that.
Well, I have to say I've heard it butchered a couple times myself. But you know what? I love that people want to do it, so that's great.
Well, it touches folks. I mean, you struck a chord with that song, and it just it shows. I mean, it is an enduring song, and of course, part of your library. You guys have so many hits. Over 30 years together, right?
32 years,
32.
and 10 number one songs, 22 top tens. Man, we were super blessed. Sold 10.5 million records. Somebody said to me the other day, they go, and they were a younger person. They were like, 10.5 million records. That's cool, but they're artists I know that they have like hundreds of millions of records sold. And I was like, those are hundreds of millions of streams.
Right.
Very different.
Very different. Big time different, that's for sure. I remember I got to see you guys as part of the George Strait Country Music Festival several years back. You came to Little Rock, and after the set, it really tickled me. All the people that were around us were like, those guys are good. I got to go see them again. I mean, people were really surprised, I guess, because a lot of times they're just exposed to what they hear on the radio, which is great stuff, but they don't realize just how incredible it is to hear that performed live and how tough a lot of the songs are that you guys do.
Right, and I'm so glad. That was one of when I look back over our history and think of tours that I will never forget, that is definitely one of them, because, man, George Strait, speaking of iconic people,
right,
iconic artists, he is definitely that, and we get to do that tour with him, and there were so many other great artists. Alan Jackson was on that. Brad Paisley. Let's see. So it was George Strait was the headliner. Alan Jackson before him. We went on before Alan Jackson. Brad Paisley was on before us. And I mean, the list just went on and on. So many great artists. So it was a lot of fun. Yeah,
that was an amazing show, and everybody just shined, and it really tickled me to see how people were just blown away by Lone Star's performance, especially because I guess it was they weren't expecting just such a fantastic show, and of course incredible performances. And I know they're going to get to see the same thing come Saturday night. Everybody needs to come out and catch you guys at the Moonshine Festival, of all things. I mean, that is a wonderful festival that's getting to be larger and larger in this area, and it's very cool that you guys are going to be a part of it.
Yeah, we're so excited. And yeah, I'll tell you what, I know we were just talking about the George Strait Fest, that was so many years ago, but I can tell you this band brings the same energy, if not more than we did even back then. They're getting to hear all the hits, plus a few surprises that we ain't even talked about. They're going to remain surprises. But let me tell you, one musical event you need to come to this year. You got to come see us. This is going to be one heck of a night.
Well, I tell you what, after 32 years of doing this, the mega success that you've had, I mean, how do you keep it fresh? How do you keep staying excited about it?
That's easy. The fans.
Yeah.
They, we look at it like every time we walk on stage that, we know there's somebody seeing us for the first time. I always do a thing. I'll say at the beginning of the show, how many longtime Lone Star fans, and there'll be a lot of them, but I'm looking and I see there's people sitting there with their arms crossed going, I'm not really a fan yet. It impressed me. And so, I love that challenge of bringing new people to our show and making them a fan. So that's, I don't know what other motivation anybody needs other than that.
That's very, very cool. Well, Dean, man, we appreciate it. I know your time is limited, and I thank you so very much for taking the time out to visit with me this morning, and we're looking forward to having everybody come out Saturday for the Moonshine Festival and catching Lone Star live in concert.
Man, thank you so much for your time. Yep, people come see us. It's going to be one heck of a night.